Our next speaker is Adrian Levesque, who is the Assistant Director of Industrial Projects and Visualization Services, and he's going to speak to you about the Computational Research, the Center for Computational Research.
Excellent. Well, thank you for the introduction. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm here today to give you an overview of the Center for Computational Research, which is the high-performance computing facility for the University at Buffalo. There we go. So today we're going to go over about our mission, talk a little bit about CCR, talk about the resources and different types of resources that we have, talk about how we can help you sponsor your grants, work with companies, and generally get access to the center. So CCR's mission is to enable research and scholarship among UB faculty. That's our main research. So we provide research equipment, compute facilities. We provide support for those facilities. So if you have any questions or problems that we can answer those support, we help you if you needed support for grant funding, if there's any faculty that need any type of research support. So anything involving that. We also provide high-tech workforce training. So we partner with different workloads within the university, the Institute of Artificial Intelligence, the Computer and Data Science enabled science programs. So we do offer workforce training through there. We provide all sorts of access for students at the university. So if anything that you need, we're here to help. And we also have an economic development work group within CCR as well. So that's my background, and that's a lot of what we do is we work with closely with a lot of faculty who are engaged with companies and also work with companies directly to allow them to access resources at the university to help foster economic development growth within Western New York. So this ties into working with additional faculty members, hiring students, and working with them within the company. So everything kind of ties together nicely with all these different mission objectives. All right, so CCR has been around since 1999, and CCR provides UB researchers and affiliated partners with access to advanced computing resources and services. We support over 350 different PI groups. We have around 1,300 active users within the university. So anything from the hard sciences to math to the social sciences. We have people in the School of Management, the arts department, doing rendering. So you name it, we cover it, and it's only growing. Computational resources are needed in a wide variety of programs. So we're here to service everyone's need and expertise, whether they're beginners or if they're more advanced users. So depending on where you see your need level and what your research needs would be, we're here to help you. We have over 470 different proposals and $990 million of awards since 2017, and that was roughly when we started collecting data on that. So we've been involved in more, and we have over 2,000 related CCR publications since 2016. So we're in a lot of different groups. We support a lot of different research, so don't be afraid to reach out for us if you need help. We're a small group. We have around 9 people that are the core CCR facility. 2 of those are computational scientists who work on a lot of the research. We have the main brunt is system administrators who actually administer the accounts, take care of the equipment, respond to help desk tickets, anything involving that, just kind of keeping the center running. And we have 2 additional people, myself, who does the contracts and agreements for economic development, and then we have a system or a financial administrator at the center. We also have a group who is research support, who is funded through an NSF award called XDMod/Access, and those are about another 9 individuals. And that award is about a 15-year award for around $27 million. And the XDMod program is a metric service platform that gives you kind of insight on how well computational services are actually being utilized. So that's helpful if you're running a small cluster and you want to make sure that you're running your jobs optimally, you're running a large data center like ours, or if you're a company who's looking to kind of look at your resources at a larger scale. So it really allows you to drill down and understand how your jobs are performing, what's effective, what's not effective, what users are having challenges with, and try to make those tweaks on the back end so that everything works better for people. We also have a bunch of open source projects that some of them are direct relation, like ColdFront, which is our user management portal, allows people to kind of look and see who is assigned to their research groups, allow access to different software modules, and actually control all that stuff at the user's end as opposed to asking for us for permission to do so. So our largest cluster and the main one that most people have interaction with is our academic cluster. We have about 1,200 servers, which is roughly around 16,000 CPU cores. We have some GPUs from the V100s to the NVIDIA A100s. We have some test Grace Hopper machines coming out soon, and about 4 PB of storage. Everything is scheduled through a program called Slurr, which is our job scheduler system. And everything is connected through high performance networking, so you don't have to worry about jobs being lost or anything like that, and accessed remotely through SSH or our open on-demand web portal. So you can be on campus, submit a job, you can be at home submitting a job as long as you're SSH in, or you can be on vacation somewhere if you wanted to check your job running. So we have the ability to kind of keep everything connected at all times so people can keep their workload running and making sure things are not having a problem. Everybody gets 1 TB of shared group storage. Additional storage can be purchased at recovery rate. And then each group also has 10 TB of scratch storage. So the general storage is used for long-term type of storage. So if you want to keep things on there for over semester or over years as your research gathers, that's the long-term storage. The scratch storage is more used for the immediate use of computation when you're trying to calculate things and your data needs room to actually do those computation. So those can be adjusted to depending on what you're computing, and we have abilities to do that as well. So we also, for research groups, hosts clusters. So some researchers who want to have dedicated machines because previous one is a shared access machine. So depending on how much you use it, your priority in the queue does change. Some folks want to have dedicated clusters, and we can take that off your hand and manage those and maintain those clusters for you as well. There's a small startup fee to make sure we can kind of get everything up on the network and make sure it's all connected to the power supply and everything's working on that side. But we do keep them for around 7 years. And when they're not in use by the researcher, they do become part of what we consider the scavenger nodes. So scavenger nodes, if you're not familiar with the term, is when nodes are sat idle, we don't like to have them sit there and not be useful. So we allow other researchers at the time to actually scavenge those spare cycles to make sure things are always being utilized. And when the main researcher who owns those nodes happen to need those nodes, we stop the job of the person that's scavenging them and allow the user to access them immediately. So this is a way to kind of keep resources flowing, always making sure that jobs are being utilized in an efficient manner and really helping the university achieve their goals in the greatest measure possible. So we run at 99% capacity. We are open 365 every day, 7 days a week. So there's really no downtime for our machines, and we want to make sure that resources are being used for everybody there. So we also have an on-premise cloud service. This is designed and maintained by the staff at CCR as well. What's great about it is that it's located at UB, your data stays at UB, and it's not something that you have to put into AWS or Google and have to worry about your data being outside of there. Everything's within UB. This is a great way to start up a research cluster, to check your databases, website, train some AI, and really just do some proof of concept research in there without having to go outside. You have full control and responsibility for maintaining all this. The CCR staff does not maintain your cloud. This is all up to the users. And it's something that has been a big success for a lot of researchers here that need a little bit more hands-on experience that the batch compute cluster just doesn't provide. It's built on OpenStack, which is an open source software platform, and it has a lot of great features that allow people a lot of freedom to do their work. So we're going to be doing it so you can actually build a startup within the cloud, UB Research Cloud, and then burst out into something more sustainable, because this is really meant for starting research and not a kind of like a production level system. So you don't want to maintain any commercial websites with these type of things. But it is a great method to get your hands on this type of stuff, work with students on different little projects, and not have to really have a huge cost associated with it. So we use Globus as our data transfer platform, and this is used around the world. It's a very secure and allows moving large data sets with ease, as opposed to just having to drop it through SSH or Box, where it can be a little bit messy and there might be delays or loss of data packets. This is something that other academic institutions utilize, companies utilize around the world. We have collaborators all over the US and all over the world submitting their data to CCR this way, and it's a great tool to really allow people smoothly transfer data without having to worry about it. So we also do a lot of sponsored research for grant support. We're always looking to kind of support new grant activities. All of our infrastructure at CCR is funded through grants. So none of this is actually anything that is provided on a kind of a steady basis. So we don't have a set budget for infrastructure. So we have to go out and make sure we're getting NSF, NIH, state funding to really support initiatives to make sure that the equipment is the latest and greatest. So we're always looking to partner with people on this type of stuff. So if you're looking to either do specific research and you need specific hardware, we're here to help you out with that. We also, if you need to have somebody to actually look at software that you're developing, or you need help with modeling and simulations, we have people on staff that actually can work with that. If you want to actually develop and engineer a cluster, we can help you do that as well. So really, depending on what your needs are, we're here to support all those different initiatives. We also have a dedicated cluster to support economic outreach. Now, this cluster was funded by New York State, and it is useful for any individual who is partnering with a company and is looking to have priority access to a batch compute cluster. This is a great opportunity not only for them, but also for the companies to partner with, to work with the university, to work with a shared data system. So if they're doing research within the university, they can access the same data with the researcher and not have to worry about transferring it outside of the university. So this is great if you're partnering with any of the centers for advanced technologies, you're partnering with the Center for Materials Informatics, the Center of Excellence in Bioinformatics and Life Sciences. All these programs are tied in together to make sure they have access to this cluster. Now, when this cluster is not being used by industry, it is also part of the scavenge partition. So anybody within the university also will have access to this when it's not being used by industry clients. So this is also something that we've recently expanded to allow cloud access as well to industry partners. So if you're working with a company and you're interested in setting up a research cloud to do that, as mentioned earlier, it can all be tied together into one environment and not have to kind of be disparate across different platforms. So all of this, the batch compute environment for the university is at no cost to the users. We do queue priority based on contribution. So if somebody contributes on a grant, the baseline 5 support, they do get priority access, so they get bumped up a little bit in the queue to utilize that. But it is a fair share method, so the more you use it, so if you're submitting a lot of smaller jobs, you will get bumped down on the priority as opposed to somebody who may only occasionally support a job, but we do get everything run through. Even though the years and the computational needs have grown considerably, the wait times have not. Most folks get run within 24 hours. Some of the fewer, the larger jobs that may need more resources may have to wait a day or two to submit their jobs. So we want to make sure that people are aware of this so that they can actually plan according to their research and deadlines to make sure things are being met. So we do ask to include a percent credit, around 5% for sponsored projects, to make sure that they are included. That way we can kind of be tracked to make sure that we're showing the university the value that we're providing, and also get tied back into some of the funding requirements from the state and the government. And we also have our cold front allocations portal, where we allow you to actually maintain and utilize your own accounts. So that way you can add and remove users on there. You can add your publications on there and keep everything tracked into one place and not have to worry about, hey, who has access to my data, who doesn't have access. The PIs control all of that. So this is a great resource to allow people to kind of have a one-stop shop to work on this stuff and not have to wonder about what's actually being done. We do support classes. So from smaller classes that need resources to do some AI training models, we do that. And if you need larger resource classes to kind of teach a larger class on the basics of high performance computing, we do offer that. So those are things that we can work with you with. We just ask you that you give us advance notice before the classes start, because it makes it a lot more difficult to schedule that for larger classes. So all that stuff is done through there. And we also have a nice new training module right now that we're asking all users of high performance computing to go through, that gives you the basics of learning how to set up an account, access the cluster, learn how to submit a job, create a batch a batch script to actually submit jobs, get your results, and all that kind of takes the guesswork out of it and gives everybody an equal playing field. So if they know nothing about high performance computing, they can actually learn to submit a job, or if they're experts in it, it's a great refresher to learn about the policies of the university. And any questions? We have a bunch of resources on our website. You can learn more if you need specific hardware information, all on our academic cluster or industry cluster. We have a help desk that has all sorts of helpful questions or comments or anything that you may have. You can submit through there. We have a whole documentation page that includes videos that show you step-by-step instructions on all the different resources at the university, from creating advanced job scripting to submitting jobs in Slurm to just basic access, or how do you use on-demand, to some visualization services at the CCR. So there's all sorts of things. And we also have a direct email if you need to email for help. We have people that answer the support tickets there and are able to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think we do. You had poll questions.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so there's a few people that are looking like they're interested. Again, you can see on your screen, we'll make the slideshow available also to all participants. So if they have more questions or if they want more information, they should be able to access that.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for taking your time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Sure.